It was called Rare Earth Records, intended for underground rock sounds. This is their biggest hit, I Just Want to Celebrate. In the early 2000s, one band was providing the world with another sample of Detroit music that went worldwide. The White Stripes may have split up, but the impression they left on the music scene is undeniable. The opening track from their third album, Fell in Love with a Girl. Our third selection is a band that most of us don't associate with Detroit. Parliament Funkadelic and George Clinton came to Detroit to make it big and get signed by Motown Records. The latter never happened, but the former certainly did, with hits like Give Up the Funk. In all the world, there may not be a city with a richer musical heritage than that of Detroit. From jazz to electronic, from rock to hip-hop, Detroit musicians have set the standards for excellence and creativity. However, the most enduring legacy belongs to the people that grace the rooms of 2648 West Grand Boulevard, the musicians of Motown Records. Ladies and gentlemen, the Marching Saints. The 2021 Marching Saints are under the direction of Micah Volz, ably assisted by Scott Fryer, drill by Mark Waymeyer, percussion music by Matt Nabosny, percussion instructor Jacob Lamb, high winds David Sanchez, low winds Aaron Buckley, choreography by Lauren Coleman. Drum majors are Aaron Enderby, Noah Morev, and Shaylee Sanger. The voice of the Marching Saints is Mike Schaefer. Ladies and gentlemen, the Marching Saints of St. Clair High School.
Well, they've got drink specials every day. Rooms upstairs if you want to stay. If you love music, hear it play at the good old Murphy Inn. At the good old Murphy Inn.
Looking for a great spot to enjoy lunch or dinner with fantastic daily food and happy hour specials? Look no further than the Murphy Inn in St. Clair. This is Paul, owner of the Murphy Inn. Our charming Irish pub features different food and drink specials every day of the week, plus live entertainment every Wednesday through Saturday. The inn even offers 7 unique hotel rooms complete with modern amenities, perfect for overnight stays or a weekend getaway.
There ain't no doubt we're going out to the good old Murphy Inn. To the good old Murphy Inn.
La Mache is open in the south end of St. Clair's Riverview Plaza. La Mache, an artisan's experience, soon filled with over 40 unique artisans under one roof. Individual spaces with their own vibe. Handmaids, pottery, French candies and jellies. Halloween, Christmas, candles, pottery. Walk through the halls of La Mache and see the individual booths that everyone's talking about. La Mache, an artisan's experience in the south end of the Riverview Plaza. North Star Bank, your local community bank serving St. Clair, Sanilac, Huron, and Washtenaw counties. When you need a local community bank for home loans, checking, savings, and other banking needs, North Star Bank is the community bank that you want to deal with. The bank that will take care of all your personal and business needs. North Star Bank has a new mobile application that you can download to make banking even easier. North Star Bank, guiding the way. Member FDIC.
And welcome back, CTV viewers, to the second half of St. Clair Saints football here at East China Stadium, as the Saints lead 22-14 over the Eastpointe Shamrocks. Coach Denny White alongside myself, Brad Robbins, bringing you the game today here on CTV. A little bit of a shaky first half for both teams, Coach, with a lot of penalties as we get underway.
Yeah, we had to clean up the penalties on both sides to get some flow to this game.
Yeah, it took an inordinate amount of time to play the Friday. We're almost at 2 hours of game time here, getting into the second half, as we see that kick go right off the back of an up man for the Saints. Also indicative of how the first half went on special teams, although no flag there, and the Saints are going to take over with good field position. As we kind of fire into the second half, worth noting just a tremendous band performance once again. Special thanks to all the band members and director Michael Bowles for another great performance. Some Detroit connection there. Something we didn't see enough of in the first half. He got Luke Ellis free. Saints get a big chunk.
Yep, and that's something that you and I discussed at halftime, the idea that you got the big five up front. Let's see what they can do against this defensive front.
Yeah, Shamrock's doing a pretty nice job in the secondary defensively, but the offensive line started to impose their will a little bit, and there were some penalties and a drop snap and some things that worked against them, but really I'd like to see the offensive line take charge. This is a big drive here for the Saints. Shirky.
Whoa.
Owners his way. Did he get lifted and dropped in a good spot there? Pretty impressive tackle there. Shirky looks like he got thrown to the ground. And we talked about that as well, Coach. We talked about the impact that Stephen Estridge up front has made, and I mean, I don't know if that was him, but it looked like it might have been. I'd be running away from him.
It was his kind of tackle, yes.
Connor Shirky makes a gain and gets dropped after 5 yards with authority. Here's Ellis again, same play as the first time. He scampers up and he scores quickly.
That's it. No penalties.
Saints might have found something there. Yeah, we've come into the habit of taking a look for flags. This time there are none, but we'll get a second look at a repeat play there by Ellis as he scampers in. Unfortunately, couldn't give it to you a second time. You have to take it back on the YouTube reel to see it again. Nonetheless, just a big play there, just a minute and 8 seconds into the second half. Saints won the coin toss at the outset, deferred and made good on it right away. Special teams on for the extra point. Dalton Kleeman coming on late. I don't know that they see him. He's going to fill in that right tackle spot. Got time to spare. Snap's good, holds good. Kick is up, and the kick is good.
She is automatic. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, we remarked that in her previous game, and now just continuing where she left off, this Claire Freeland. We were having plenty of trouble in the kick-off game, but the extra point game has been just fine. So the Saints come out of the half, probably talk a lot about penalties. We were trying to tally them up, 20-plus for sure in the first half between both of these teams, and we really needed the opportunity to come out, execute, take advantage of the first possession, and they do it in a short amount of time.
Well, and as you're well aware, the adjustments you make at halftime will determine what happens in the overall game, and that was a really nice adjustment by the Saints.
Yeah, the Saints came out, ran the ball, didn't even need to go to the air. Luke Ellis had a couple of nice runs. Connor Shirkey, a 5-yard gain that he earned.
Yep. And we have a new kicker, Ryder Brooks.
We saw him warming up.
Yep.
At this point, you got to give something a go here.
Keep it in bounds.
And that one's not going to stay in bounds.
The thought was good.
A little bit of depth on it,
Yeah.
but they're going to have to try that again, and we've seen that pretty consistently all night from the Saints kickoff team. Just hasn't been able to execute and keep something in bounds. You had made the remark that the head referee, Phil Jensen, was going to be a member of the Screen Actors Guild because he's been on camera so much. And he might. He picks up right where he left off in the first half, in the second here. So we're going to try it again with Mr. Ryder Brooks. Saints kickoff team at the ready, reset. They've taken a lot of reps tonight. Wobbles this one up the middle at the hash.
No!
That one's going to go out of bounds as well. And you can see the hat's been moved up to the center of Coach Bishop's head from running his hand through his hair. And Coach Griffin has similar body language. They're trying to find something that'll work. They're going to have to get these things kicked off. But what can't be lost in the shuffle here is when this is happening, you're giving up a lot of field position. You know, the Shamrocks have only had one drive that started in a tough spot, and the Saints defense held and did a great job. But it's tough to put your defense in these spots with lacking special teams play.
Okay, here's the adjustment. We now moved over to
Move
the
to
hash.
I'm in. I'm good with it. We'll go again with Ryder Brooks. Pretty good leg on Ryder. That's a great
There you
kick. It's
go.
going to sail. Tough to handle. Picked up at the 25 by McCutcheon. Finds a seam up the right
Lord.
side, and he is gone.
Yep.
McCutcheon takes it off the right. Now that illustrates why we've been working so hard to make sure he doesn't get that touch. He's an electric playmaker and makes a play. So the quick answer as we start the second half, we've gone 1 minute and 20 seconds, and we've had a touchdown by each team.
That's why they don't kick it deep.
So at home, if you've joined us for the entire broadcast thus far, you've noticed that the Saints have had difficulty kicking the ball with directional kicks. It didn't matter who they put in, but now I think they've relented and tried to kick deep, and right away Bradley McCutcheon let you know why that's not a good idea. Some good wheels off the right side, so the Saints scored right away to make it 29-14, and just like that, it's 29-20, and the Shamrocks on for the 2-point conversion try. Looks like this is R.J. Jackson under center. They've switched on and off, he and Dorian Manley. Jackson keeps it, right side, cuts back. Met right at the goal line. Did he get there? It looks like he did on second effort. No signal yet. The try is good. Try is good. It's going to make it 29-22. 10:40 to play in the third quarter, and just like that, they've traded scores, and the defense doesn't even get to take the field, and then the Shamrocks have matched them.
Needless to say, that's not what you wanted to have happen.
No, but I think it illustrated a very important point as to why the kicking game has struggled. I don't think it's a matter necessarily of where or how to kick it. It's just been the absolute necessity to keep it out of the hands of those playmakers, and they made you pay the first time that you did it. Mentioned at halftime, we saw the band performance. A few other plugs for Saints Athletics here while we watch them get organized. The cheer coaches deserve a shout out tonight as they're always out front. Casey Verbecki, Jordan Gillis, and Isabel Koo firing up the teams during games. Much appreciated. Keeping things spirited with that student section down there. The varsity tennis team, coached by Gordy Farnsworth, rained out a couple times this week, but handily beat Port Huron Northern in their MAC Red opener. So continued success with that Saints program as well. Long time soccer success going back to Coach Klutz as well. So it's almost like nothing happened. We're going to hit the reset button here on the second half. The Saints are going to receive the kick from the Shamrocks, and here we go. Squib kick, onside intentional, ball's picked up, and you're probably going to get an unnecessary roughness on that. I see that throw by the linesman here, Terry Harrington. So on the onside kick, you had the up man just try and run into and lead into the person trying to receive the ball. And I don't believe you're allowed to do that without having it be unnecessary roughness. Pretty good throw there by ball boy Graham Pillarge. It's a tall drink of water. Threw it right over the conversation of the officials and a strike to reach Recor. Lengthy discussion here over this flag. Nonetheless, Saints recovered the ball and are going to start with good field position once again. So this is the third flag of this half to go along with the first, but the pace has matched, right? Lengthy discussions, trying to figure things out with that flag just teasing us as it lay on the field. So each team's been penalized a lot, but you know what's not going to penalize you is a free flu shot clinic from the East China Township and for East China Township and St. Clair residents, sponsored by the Township and the St. Clair Rotary at Ascension River District Hospital on October 1st from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
During the play, illegal block on the kicking team. That's a 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. St. Clair will take over. First down.
So in some fashion, I believe I had it pegged. I'm not quite sure of the parameters. I'm not sure of, but I don't believe you can just head up there and just blindly block people trying to receive the kick. And I'm confused why there wasn't a penalty added, if that's the case.
Play. Block on the kicking team. The penalty is St. Clair will take the ball. First down.
Okay, so for the folks at home, I'm guessing your options are to have them re-kick from a 10-yard penalty or take the ball. And it appears that because we've recovered at the 49-yard line, you just start your possession and move on. There's something to be said for the interest here of the players and their attention span. We got to get it going.
That's right.
I'm going to have guys just declining penalties. All right. Saints will roll. 10:38. Third quarter. Good field position. In the shotgun with a full house. Trailing back gets it. That's Shirky up the left side. We've seen a little bit of that to start with, kind of picking on that left side. Shirky never actually went down, but they ruled forward progress stop, so they're going to give him about a 6-yard gain.
His legs don't stop. He gives you everything he has all the time.
Strong runner. Really liked what the Saints did on that drive that kind of showcased him and White, and then they were able to get, Cole a touch out in space, and Logan Ellis was a little bit hobbled at the time, but he came and made a play, so hopefully we can kind of continue that. Saints with that full house again, moving a guy in motion. Option play, saw that a couple times. This one pitched early. Ethan White, I believe, on the carry. He was.
Yes.
Again, the Shamrocks go and hunt the football, that time with the crown of a helmet, almost knocked it loose. White did a good job to get it moving forward. But because that option started so far in the backfield, just a gain of 2, 3rd down and 4 from the 45 for the Saints. Dive play, trying to extend it to the outside as White met right there by number 3, Derek Wallace. And R.J. Jackson on the perimeter. So now the Saints are in that twilight territory. They've punted from here before and pinned them deep. Logan Ellis has made some excellent plays on special teams. The snap, however, is becoming a bit of an issue. Saints look to elect a punt. Obviously, Bradley McCutcheon is lurking. That snap's high. I mentioned it before. Ellis gives chase. Last time made a heady play to punt it. Does it again. And a decent result there as it bounces back one time to the 35. So the Saints only net 12 yards on the punt and turn it over to the Shamrocks due to the overhead snap. Second time the Saints have had trouble with that snap. And the Shamrocks now all of a sudden are going to get the ball back with a 7-point deficit and have captured a little bit of the momentum here in East China Stadium.
It's really not a surprise that this has not been a clean game in any stretch of the imagination from either side.
Yeah, both teams just having a difficult time executing, and it's feeding off of one another.
Mm-hmm.
I think when you get this many penalties, it almost just snowballs, and here we go again. You may be able to pick up the audible frustration in the crowd as well, and I got to tell you, it's kind of palpable around here. It's just been a tough watch. So we'd love to thank you if you're hanging in there with us on the broadcast.
Well, and if you were watching this one, it was the center that did it. He nearly stood up before he snapped the ball. He can't do that.
So center quarterback exchange is becoming an issue for the Shamrocks. Long snapper to punter becoming an issue for the Saints. Penalties an issue for both. Shamrocks cost themselves 5 to start this drive, and they'll try it again. No procedure issues here. Jackson with it, trying to make something happen. Saints swarming. That ball came out. I see a hanky. But I don't see an indication that possession changed. But there we go with a little pressure and a little excitement there for the Saints. Looked like number 76 for the Saints, Hunter Richardson, on the sack. A negative play makes it 3rd and a mile.
And if you're the quarterback, that's not how you want to hold the ball when contact is coming toward you. One-handed up in the air.
Yeah, he was still trying to make a play far after he should have tucked that away and taken the loss. The official did drop the turnover hanky, so it must have bounced and came back up to him. 3rd and 22, passing situation pretty clearly here. They're going to run it on the outside with Jackson. Gets a good chunk of it. Back to the original line of scrimmage, +1. Saints defense, well done there. A little bit of a bend, don't break. Keep everybody in front of you. Shamrocks, looking at this, you've been giving the Saints mostly the 50 every kickoff. What's the difference on the punt team? At this point, you may as well go for it.
Sure.
The punt we saw from Dorian Manley wasn't wildly successful, so I wouldn't be shocked if they just try to go after it. Maybe lost. They're indicating 3rd down. Going to get a delay of game penalty.
Unless they took the timeout. They didn't.
Well, we saw early on in the football game, the Shamrocks had to use up their timeouts, but they found themselves in it's a competitive game. If you're Coach Reed over there, you can't take a timeout right now and burn any this early. So the delay of game is going to back them up. I apologize. I really thought we had a 4th down, so it's 3rd and 13. Kai Pennywell providing some pressure over the top. Got a man beat off the helmet of number 20 for the Saints, Carson Landshut. So pretty good coverage.
Good coverage.
And,
That's exactly
fortunate
right.
for him that there was no contact with that receiver coming back to the ball. You see that called quite a bit. Didn't get his head turned. That doesn't matter. No flag thrown. And this one's got to be fourth down. As it does look like the Shamrocks are making enough changes to constitute a punt team, and Logan Ellis is going to be back near the 41 to try and receive it.
Now it's fourth down.
Snaps a little high but managed, and we have flags. Looks like procedure on the Shamrocks. Continuing the theme here of the night.
False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty.
On some level, I have to admire the resolve of the officials.
That's right. Yes. Yes.
Because some of these, that's a lot of integrity to throw that many. Well, we're going to try it again. That's 6 here in this half. The snap better. Bobbled a bit. Pretty good punt. It's going to trickle out of bounds at about the 39-yard line where the Saints would take over. Penalty free on that
There you
special
go.
teams play. As the teams kind of switch on and off here, give a shout out to the varsity soccer team coached by Ray Peckman, Reed Packin, and Ethan Peckman. They beat Cardinal Mooney United 7-1 and tied Lakeshore 1-1, beat Tower 3-1. Busy week for this varsity soccer team. They also were out playing tonight at 6 o'clock at Roseville. So, goodness gracious, good week there for the Saints soccer team. .6:33 to go, third quarter. Saints lead 29-22. Ellis, fake option pitch, reverses total field and gets out past the first down marker, reaches for another yard, gets it across the 50 onto the good side. Nifty little play. That's becoming something that they can go to quite a bit.
That's an individual effort going across the grain because all the blockers are coming this way and he's going the other way.
Sometimes it's just being an athlete. Saw that earlier on his touchdown pass. He and his brother just kind of made it work. It wasn't certainly something that's necessarily practiced, but a good read there, a good run, and has the Saints on the move. Deep ball again, crowded out there. That ball is caught. Brendan Cole makes the play.
Nice catch. Wow.
A couple of times here tonight that the prospects of a complete pass didn't look great, and an individual effort by a Saints player makes it happen. That time it's Brendan Cole. Excellent concentration. He was sandwiched between two Shamrocks, made the play anyhow.
And you're the defensive back. There's nothing else you could have done.
That's a couple of times tonight the Saints have been able to make a play that if I was coaching the Shamrock secondary, I'm not really sure I know of a way to give them feedback that's going to make them feel better. That was just excellent coverage and just an individual play that you got to tip your cap. Saints going to burn one here. Timeout on the field with 6:19 to go in the third quarter after a nice play by Brendan Cole. Just an excellent job by him. Said in the first half, I'll say it again, just a special thank you to St. Clair Jets Pizza for providing pizza for the crew here in CTV, and also I know that the players take advantage of that a little bit as well in some fashion, whether it's tonight or over film. So special shout out to Norm, Kevin, the whole crew there. Thank you so much. Also to Paul Dingman, Bruce Holliday, and the Channel 6 crew for making this happen. Being here and giving the kids something to watch in their film. Hopefully this one they can fast forward through the penalty flags and watch some of the highlights, Coach. But I know, I know there was a time, there was a time that I, set my watch after a game to go home and watch the game at midnight. So we got different kind of digital options to watch games. So if you're able to skip some of that fast forward 15 seconds might be helpful, especially after this one. I'll sort this one out down on the field. Time moving along slowly here at East China Stadium.
Before the play, encroachment on the defense. Before the play, false start on the offense. The fouls will offset. We'll replay first down.
That's a first for me. Didn't know that you could encroach all the way. Encroachment to me indicates that somebody touched somebody.
Yes.
And if you force the offensive lineman to move, again, not sure how that works, but nonetheless, we're running the option on the left side. Ethan White gets it from Luke Ellis down to the 28-yard line.
Okay, this is as far as I'm going here. It's yours.
A very short pitch, nearly a handoff. Nonetheless, got him a couple extra yards. Kind of forced him out over by that chain gang. The always reliable Bob McLaren, Bob Courier, and Butch Kinsvater. Special thanks to those guys as well. I know as an athletic director, it's nice to just know you got guys showing up to do that job. Ellis, again, we've seen this 3 or 4 times this half, and it might be the second time it's resulted in a touchdown. It does. Saints have found something with Ellis.
They have, yep. And that side of the offensive line.
Just an excellent job on the left side. Kind of a little cutback option look. It's just getting people off balance one step enough that Luke is able to just be an athlete, find the seam, and doing a good job extending the ball over the goal line. So again, in short order and a couple of penalties, the Saints take the momentum back and score again on a Luke Ellis touchdown run. I'm not sure if you're able to see this in your screen. However, the game is wearing on some of the players. There were a couple of Shamrocks came off the bench, couldn't have been less interested in being on the field for that extra point attempt, probably because Miss Automatic's going to make it anyways, and she did. So now another 14-point lead for the Saints, and I hate to say it like this, Coach, but it's the dreaded kickoff opportunity.
Here we go.
It has just been an Achilles heel tonight for both teams, but the Saints in particular have not found the tonic for how to kick to the Shamrocks.
The kickoffs tonight have been brought to you by the color yellow.
No doubt. And you don't want to, beat that to death, but it does have an impact psychologically on your team that you just can't get going. All three of these, they got to feed off of each other, and they've had some issues with that, keeping continuity. It's going to be Ethan White this time. And he squibs it. Oh, and it's going to get touched. Good fortune there by the Saints. Landshut giving chase. Yep. And the Saints might have benefited a little bit from Demetrius Chase trying to make a play, because I think that was going out of bounds as well.
Yeah, I think it was. And that's like the third time tonight he's made a cut and fallen.
He had the big fumble earlier as well, forced by Larry Warzeniak, that led the Saints into halftime with that lead, a big play. Coach, just, I remarked earlier on the extra point regarding body language and the way that, things seem to be trending in this football game. And this is a big defensive possession for the Saints. I think if they can establish a couple negative plays here, it looks like some fatigue, whether it be mental or physical, from the Shamrocks right now coming on and off the field.
Oops. Too easy.
We got a flag for, I think, equipment on the Shamrocks, right in front of the umpire, Rich Recor, in the middle, and he's going to back him up.
Before the play, illegal formation, correction, illegal participation.
Yeah.
12 men on the field, offense, 5-yard penalty, replay first down.
12 men on the field coming off of that special teams play in week 4. It's not the recipe for success. Shamrocks finally fortunate not to get the penalty that happened called. And now we got a pitch backwards, an intentional lateral. And pretty good awareness there by the Saints. Shirky comes up. Connor Shirky to make that play. That looked like he was bottled up and made an intentional lateral backward.
I think he did, yeah.
What a dangerous play. Nonetheless, Connor Shirky on the spot. And they get a short gain on it of about 3. It's going to bring up 2nd and 12 from the 26 for the Shamrocks. Jackson on the option play. I think that's twice in a row. Shamrocks have gotten away with a penalty, which at this point I can understand the fatigue. Be 3rd down and about 7. 4:27 left in the 3rd quarter. Trevor Gregg hustles off for the Saints. Late substitution there for the Shamrocks. Plenty of time on the play clock, 20 seconds. Clean snap to Jackson. Cole gives chase. There's the same blitz the Saints got burned on earlier. This time, backside sack for Brendan Cole, another big play. From the blind side, everything in the depths of the secondary took too long to develop, and Cole with his speed came untouched. And now it's 4th and 18. Really like that defensive call by Coach Bishop.
And Brendan Cole went after the quarterback under control, so had he turned, I think he still had control.
Yeah, certainly allowing for the escapability that Jackson has shown. I mean, he's plenty athletic, plenty good. Right now, the Saints just have a huge opportunity, I think, to really take firm hold of this. The Shamrocks they're not even able to get their punt team on the field quick enough to run their play on the play clock, and they're forced to call their timeout here. If you're looking to follow St. Clair Athletics on social media, you can go, or the website stclairathletics.org is available to you. Facebook is St. Clair Athletics, or Twitter at SC_athletics. I know Mr. Rutledge tries to make sure there are updates and highlights of all the different successful programs that we have at St. Clair High School. Now, excluded from that being the cross-country team that's taking their show on the road, I believe, tomorrow in Holly. So best of luck to Coach Brenner and Coach McDonald with their continued success for the St. Clair Saints cross-country program, which we all know and love. And scorekeeper on the computer right here, David Harris, loves that too. Logan Ellis back. A little different look here for the Saints. They've got Caleb Atkins as kind of the up man. They're going to fake this, and it's going to get deflected. He decided to punt it late. I think if you're the Saints, you just run off the field, take the ball at the 39, and go to work. There is a penalty flag. I'd be hard-pressed to believe they're going to accept it. You may just want to take the time and momentum over the penalty.
No foul on the play.
The prime opportunity to put them away right now.
Yeah, this is a big spot for the Saints. 3:23 left. All the momentum in your side. Smart decision there. Wow, what a pump fake. Brendan Cole, he's got a seam. Got one man to beat.
There
5, touchdown, big spot.
Nice going. Yep. Now that was a good deal.
You got 11 frustrated white jerseys looking around, and Brendan Cole and the Saints are celebrating in the corner of the end zone. And really, I mean, Brendan Cole, great speed, great effort coming off the sack that got you the field position. But Luke Ellis, the pump fake, realizing that he was in trouble, steps up in the pocket and finds him anyhow.
Yep.
Pretty nice play. Luke Ellis, again, having a pretty good night here on his home turf. Admittedly, I've got to do a better job of keeping stats during real time. I mean, I should be outlining those for the people watching, but he's thrown 2, and I think he's at least run for 2, and the Saints are about to kick the extra point. And there's going to have a flag. And you have to call that one because Clair Freeland was going to kick that through, except offsides on the far end by a pretty wide margin. So they're going to reset that one and kick again. Saints extra point team's been perfect thus far.
Before the play, encroachment on the defense. Half the distance to the goal. Retry the extra point.
Saints with the half the distance from the 2 down to the 1 are going to bring in that big offensive line and try to get 2 points. Shirky in the
Andrew
backfield.
Schweihofer as a blocking back.
You're going to run right off of
there
his
we go,
butt
yeah.
with Luke Ellis, and he's going to get it easily standing up. Yeah, good eyes there, Coach. You see kind of a wham back opportunity for Schweihofer, and good for him as the Saints are now pretty firmly in command of this football game at 44-22 with 3 minutes left in the third quarter.
Andrew says, I'm on offense, look out.
He's doing a great job defensively. He does the interior line for the Saints has done a good job defensively all night. And right there, it's kind of nice to get a guy in and be in on a scoring play offensively. Did a good job moving the line. Good for Andrew. I believe in our last broadcast, I think I bet that he was going to get to the quarterback at some point, and we kind of ran out of time when the quarterback got hurt. So good for him getting in there and making a play. I didn't know they had that in the playbook, so I couldn't predict it, Andrew. I'm sorry. Saints get to try to kick it again. Ethan White kind of squibs it up. This one's going to stay in play, I think.
That's a good one. I don't want to be wrong.
Looks like number 6, Reggie McCutcheon, around the edge.
I'm wrong.
Ryder Brooks going to force him out of bounds at about the 49-yard line.
You just can't kick to them.
For what it's worth, that's about where the Shamrocks have started every time anyhow. It just gave Ryder Brooks the opportunity to hit somebody. And the Shamrocks continue to show us exactly why you shouldn't kick deep to them. So as big a possession as that was for the Saints, and they executed and did a wonderful job, any hope that the Shamrocks have of coming back in this football game, in my opinion, rests with this drive in these moments. negative plays and a punt are not going to do much for the Shamrocks here.
No, and I think this would be a great time to show some discipline with the correct guys on the field in the right place without jumping off sides.
Just looking at that center, it keeps the ball so far out front. Guys,
there we go.
Gave quarterback the opportunity to show off a pretty solid arm there, and it could be wrong, but was that Bradley McCutcheon playing quarterback? That'd be the third different person we've seen tonight. McCutcheon, of course, kind of a do-it-all player.
Before the play, false start, offense.
Yeah, that's what
5-yard
I'm
penalty,
about.
replay first down.
That's the discipline I'm talking about. It just short circuits any momentum that you might try to build.
And it adds to the frustration that you can see the Shamrocks are already feeling. There's some finger pointing, and you're almost to the point where you understand why. It's just hard.
Yep.
And a lot of the false starts it's some disconnect between the timing of the snap and the perimeter players. You've got receivers running routes before the ball is snapped, and you can't do that. See if they can get it here. Borderline. They're going to let it go. It's number 4, Higginbotham. He's got a strong arm and a really nice catch.
Oh, yes. Look who caught it.
Dorian Manley?
Yes. No.
No, it looks
Jackson.
like
Is it 8?
No, that's the first. That's Cordell Denton, who we haven't called.
Goodness.
The 8 and the 9 kind of jammed together on me. That's Cordell Denton, number 9 on the catch, and a really nice throw by Eddie Higginbotham. I mean, that thing was in the air a long time. And at this point, I think the Shamrocks might be content to just air it out and see how it goes. You're down 22 points and the clock's running. Looks like Higginbotham remains at QB. He's joined in the backfield by McCutcheon. Higginbotham's going to run it. Saints defense holds.
Yeah, you ran into a stop sign there.
Looks like Trevor Gregg was involved in making that as a stop sign. Owen Gazar kind of came up early, and Caleb Atkins, we called his name quite a few times as well. It's been a bit since we've had to rely on the perimeter defenders, you know, the Coles and the Ethan Whites to clean things up. It's mostly been those guys up front and the linebacking crew. Manley in motion. He's going to take the jet. There's a perimeter run. Sneaks up through. That's Denton. That's not Manley. Pretty good hit there by Carson Landshut. It's going to stop Denton at about the 6-yard line. So the Shamrocks have a little bit of life. Different personnel grouping completely.
Yes.
And, you know, that big pass play, haven't called Denton's name at all, and now Cordell Denton stole the show on the pass, and a really nice run there. A little bit of a different cast of characters for the Shamrocks of Eastpointe. They're going to spread the Saints out and scrimmage from the 6. Higginbotham still the quarterback. He's going to run it. Saw this a moment ago. Pretty good push by the offensive line. He's going to get in. He'll be stopped right at the 5.
He gets up a pretty good head of steam, but then he runs into one of our defensive linemen.
And he's not a big guy. So if he and Trevor Gregg meet in the same place, physics will take over. But he is speedy, and you wonder with that action with McCutcheon crossing his face if you're going to see that be the handoff or, you know, an option look and get Higginbotham out on the perimeter. Be second and goal from the 5. Higginbotham going to follow McCutcheon. Saints do a pretty good job extending the play. Hard to get a number. It looks like Logan Ellis wraps him up. Higginbotham to the 2-yard line. Third and goal with 31 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Be a big deal for the Saints to hold here. Higginbotham off right side. It's a push. He may have gotten in. Recor signaling that he did.
Yep, he's in.
That's going to be 6 for the Shamrocks. We got a flag, and it looked like it was the result of some jawing back and forth, and I don't think this isn't even going to be an offsetting issue. It looks like it was something that was verbal that's going to be called. It looks like they informed Coach Bishop of whatever the offense was. And Owen Gazar comes off the field. Well, that puts the Shamrocks in a spot where they can, you know, that was a defensive possession. The Saints did a good job of scoring offensively,
After the
but
play,
then
personal foul, unsportsmanlike conduct on the defense. That penalty will be assessed on the kick.
okay, so you hear it there from Phil Jensen, and the Shamrocks, fairly big two-point conversion here as it's 44-28 now. They can get it to 14. And they can't.
They can't.
And that's important just from the standpoint of now it's 16, and that's you got to get both two-point conversions. If you know the Shamrocks haven't shown the propensity to kick an extra point, so if it's 14, you just split them, you know, on 2 scores. But I'm sure the Saints aren't interested in any of that because they're going to send the offense back out onto the field. And as we've kind of observed here, Coach, I think they found a little bit of tonic with Luke Ellis running that option play. I think they've worn down that defensive front of the Shamrocks a bit.
I think that they definitely have, and I think that that's primarily due to the big 5 on the front line of the Saints.
Yeah, I think right now, get things sorted out on special teams here, get that offensive line back on the field, and you know, Coach Schindler, who works with those guys, get them fired up to make sure that they know that the game is now in their hands, and you want that line. You know, they've marketed that line as being the dominant force and the tone-setting group, and hopefully they can do that here. That penalty, of course, on that extra point attempt or after the touchdown in the scuffle on the Saints moves this kick far up. So another advantage. I mean, the Saints have really benefited from all this field position, and this is the first time that even if the Shamrocks want to try the onside kick, they may be fortunate enough to get some field position out of that as a twofer. McCutcheon going to kick here. He's done almost exclusively onside attempts. This time he kind of squibs one over the top. It's going to go out of bounds. You're going to get a penalty probably for similar, you know, blocking or unnecessary block. And you're going to have one as the procedure call as well. You have 2 flags. I think this time the Saints are just opting to take the football.
Kick out on the kicking team. St. Clair will take the ball on the 35-yard line.
Saints with the ball at the 35. They just take the field position on procedure. It may have cost them a bit, but you remember that they had that penalty, so it's really not that bad. Probably as good as it's going to get from that spot. And now I did see 2 flags.
Yeah,
They looked
there were two.
separate. I'm not sure why we would move that. I would have to be informed why a kick out of bounds with the penalty also gives you the penalty. I can see what they're doing. They're doing the math, being that you get at a spot. But I don't know that changes where you scrimmage from on a kick out of bounds based on a personal foul where you kicked it from. Isn't it a universal spot?
Yes.
And if it's true, the Saints should just make them kick again. There is no way that the ball should be marked further back. Apologies to the viewers at home. I don't know how to rant my way through this collectively without trying to take people through my brain, but this game has been kind of like this. Without continuity.
During the kick was out of bounds. That's an illegal kick. It's a 5-yard penalty. Where it went out of bounds, first down.
The officials' batteries may be a little low, but that's understandable based on how frequently they've had to use the microphone. Saints take over here after a delay. Quick handoff. Left side looks like Logan Ellis is going to take the handoff from Luke.
Yeah, this is what we talked about. This is what we want to do. Run the ball. The clock runs.
And I think if you're the Saints, you got to let this thing just tick down to end the quarter, flip the field, put 4 fingers in the air, everybody moves, and hopefully you can play a clean fourth. And that's exactly what they're going to do. So we will return for this fourth quarter right after these messages here on CTV.
I'm Dr. Lee Bacheldor, Chief Medical Officer for Ascension River District Hospital. I'm speaking to you on behalf of the hundreds of outstanding physicians, associates, and volunteers who provide personalized, compassionate, high-quality health care at our beautiful hospital on South River Road. We've been proudly serving this community for more than 50 years. Even more important, we plan to continue serving this community for a long time to come. Always remember that we are here when you need us, 24 hours a day, right here, right now, today, and in the future.
Get out your red ticket. We have your 50 winning number right here. The winning number is 236 971. 236 971. Please say. Just sort of. See your prize.
Third quarter action picking up back here at East China Stadium. It kind of mercifully begins, Coach, right? I mean, goodness gracious, the flags. Saints fortunate to lead this one 44-28 as we begin the fourth, but it's been anything but pretty. Saints picking up the run game where they left off in the third. Nice run. Started on second down there as we flip the field. It's going to be a first down right away for the Saints.
Well, and I think that makes sense. Like we talked about, you want to take some time off the clock, utilize the big, strong offensive line, and just run that thing.
And at this point, with the length of this game, honestly, with this lead, you just want this clock to run now. Yeah. You're almost in a different mindset just from a momentum standpoint. Just let this thing run, run the play clock low. You're just trying to milk it now, I think, if you're the Saints. Man in motion is Sept. They're going to pass the ball here, looking right. Looks like Ellis going to turn the corner.
Don't go out of bounds. But
he's going to step out. I think it's too early for a stoppage.
Saves the body.
Yeah. Steps out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Good little pickup on first down, but the Saints, contrary to what we thought, did look to go to the air there. maybe going for a quick strike. But again, it seems like every time the Saints have had a quick strike opportunity, Eastpointe is able to match that. So maybe just take forever, punch one in with 4 minutes left, and
just a long time-consuming drive.
Yeah, just kind of win it that way. Low snap, good adjustment, handoff to Shirky, motors for a first down to the 49. Maddox Moselle over here takes his man an extra 10 yards.
Yes, he does. Yeah.
When Shirky goes down at the 49 and Maddox is making the block down at the 40, it's worth noting.
It is.
Great job by the senior captain. Domagowski split down at the bottom here. It looks like LeDuc and Cole or Zepp up top. Can't tell for sure. A backside handoff there. It's going to be Logan Ellis on the carry. Got an injured Shamrock back at the 50. Slow to get up at least to get a stoppage. I believe because there's a stoppage, he's not going to be able to participate in this one. Got up a half second late.
Yep. Still limping though. Nigel Brown.
2nd and 5, Saints from the 45. Lucky 50-50 winners come to collect here in the booth. A little bit of excitement.
You had 40 seconds.
We
Use
can't
as
find a
much
way to
of that
penalize
as you
her.
can. That's right.
Here come the Saints. Similar look. Fake to the motion man. Ellis off the right side. Cuts again. Good feet. Got it
There you
opening.
go. There you go.
He may go. People in chase down to the 10-5. Just carried down. Short of it. Ellis plenty speedy, but the back end secondary for the Shamrocks one step quicker. And they're going to bring him down just short.
That's okay. It allows the clock to run.
I agree. Hit that thing moving. Clock does run, 9:22 and ticking. Saints on the move here at the 5, 1st and goal. 44-28 here in the 4th quarter. It's been ugly. The 44 might be the amount of flags as well. Low snap adjustment. Shirky picks up. Not going to go anywhere. Looks like number 30 there for the Shamrocks. Jamarian Donald, who we haven't called much of, and he was helped out there by Cordell Denton, who was the one making all the plays for the Shamrocks on that whole sail change that they made in their personnel. They had a 2-quarterback system with Manley and Jackson, and then all of a sudden it was Higginbotham airing it out and making plays. Saints with a primarily empty backfield. Motion Shirky over. And Ellis is going to go again. 6 points, Luke Ellis. It's been a theme. Dives his way into the end zone for 6. And the last time the Saints went for 2 behind the butt of Andrew Schweihofer, and this time they're going to go behind the legs of Clair Freeland for 1. Saints get to the 50-point mark and are well in control. We have a Shamrock that is at the 20-yard line during that. And there was not a flag thrown. So if that's an indication to you folks watching how far we've come in this one, they ignore that flag for the sake of moving our lives forward. and they just let Clair just dial it up for a 51 to 28-point lead here at East China Stadium.
Well, when this one is over, you're going to look at it and say, boy, that must just been a slugfest, and you're anything but right on that.
Yeah, it'd be difficult for me to explain this to folks, accurately kind of how this went. Now, there are some good things. So while we've kind of I mean, the flags have certainly put a cloud over top of this game. But there have been some positives. That play that Leduc made early.
Yes.
Luke Ellis, clearly, I think he's accounted for 5 touchdowns now at least. Has been primarily very good, and behind that offensive line who's really stood out. They have not been responsible for the procedure penalties. They've been clean. They've had a couple of holds early, but since then it's just been all of them imposing their will. And there's a mental challenge here for these guys with all the penalties that the Shamrocks have committed. The defense has held up pretty decent. And obviously one of the touchdowns on the board is that kickoff return, and we've realized very quickly why the special teams has struggled, because this is a difficult part. You don't want to give them any room to run. Going to try it here with Ethan White. Let's see what the Shamrocks can do. He's pretty bottled up this time, and he's going to be taken down, but not easily, across the 30 to the 33. Some pretty nifty returns here. Looked like that time it was Derek Wallace, number 3. Additionally, standing out, today, the interception by Cole. He's got the touchdown catch as well, and that big sack on 3rd down to make it 4th. A really nice call there by the coaches to send him. We had Carson Landshut break up a pass with the back of his helmet. Saints defense needs to hold here. Got a little shuffle going with the Shamrocks. Might start seeing them get away with a couple things here. Higginbotham with that big arm airs one out. And receiver number 2, Demetrius Chase, just had to play defense on the St. Clair defensive back. I think Logan Ellis was dialed up to catch that. Demetrius Chase did a nice job knocking it away. These times in a game can be fun for guys in the secondary. You got a big lead and you know what the other team's going to do. You got your pick 6 opportunity coming here. Everybody needs to buy into that. Looks like the Shamrocks, at least at this point, are going to be still trying to air out the ball and see if they can get a quick strike for a score. 8 minutes to go in the 4th. Wouldn't say they're totally out of it, but they've got to score quickly here. That looks like it's McCutcheon off. Shakes a couple tacklers. Gets it out near the sideline. I'm not sure if he made it out of bounds. The clock is running. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 5. From the 39.
This is that time in the game where hopefully you'll get a stop, but you want the clock to run and nobody to get hurt.
Yep, no doubt about it. You got a comfortable lead, but not comfortable enough to make any huge changes. You might now.
Oh.
Higginbotham picks up the errant snap. Makes his way to the sideline. Kind of dragged out of bounds. Maybe a short loss. Looked like Brennan Cole gave chase on that one. It's going to bring up a 4th down and 5 or 6 here for the Shamrocks. Maddox Moselle checking in for the defensive line. Right here you've got an opportunity, if you're Maddox and Kai Pennywell, to pin your ears back and get after the quarterback. Be interesting to see if Coach Bishop dials up any more pressure from Cole like they did on that previous clear passing down. Saints student section remaining faithful even in the wake of it almost being bedtime. The Shamrocks are going to go ahead and talk about this one. This is the game for them, so 51-28. They don't get this one, and it is time to make some changes personnel-wise, I think, for both teams. Looking ahead just a little bit, Coach, I know the Saints coming off the tough loss last week at Roseville. We mentioned that. Roseville, a heavy favorite, just to make people understand the dynamic here, to win the league. A very, very good football team that doesn't have a lot of prospects on losing football games this year. So St. Clair suffers a tough defeat there. They come here, they can get right and get back to 1-1. And they're going to go on the road next week to Grosse Pointe North, which is a tough task, but a game that the Saints feel like they can be competitive in and win. And then they're going to get Cuzno here for their homecoming on the 1st. And Cuzno, just like Roseville's the heavy favorite, Cuzno's kind of the team that doesn't look quite as good. They're coming off of a loss last week to this Eastpointe team, 40-8, I believe. And then we're going to be Warren Woods Towers' homecoming opponent at their place on a Saturday, October 9th. So some day game opportunities.
There you go.
And it looks like the Saints are going to hold on the sweep. Ryder Brooks, who's done a little bit of everything today, tight end, kicking the football off the tee on a whim. And now he's going to drag down a frustrated Brad McCutcheon and turn the ball back over to his offense with 7:02 to play in the 4th.
Cuzino is one of those teams that in a year like they're having this year appears in a lot of homecomings.
And that's just it. You never want to be somebody's homecoming because that kind of tells you what they think of you, I suppose. That being said, that should provide a chip on that Saturday game for the Saints. Tower, they play Cuzino too. Now, I don't know where. But they chose St. Clair to come there on a Saturday. So an opportunity to be a little bit motivated about that. And Tower and Grosse Pointe North are going to be, I think, in that log jam in the middle.
Yes.
I think working hard for second place in the MAC Gold. Shirky on the carry. Just picks up a couple. Looks like Steven Johnson. And Derek Wallace on the tackle for the Shamrocks. I do believe we've got Logan Ellis and not Luke Ellis calling the snaps now for the Saints, so that indicates to me we've made a second team substitution, letting some of the younger guys get a good quality 6 minutes and 23 seconds here in the 4th. George Zepp's going to take the handoff, his first carry of the night. He did catch a 2-point conversion early. He's being dragged down from behind, but a nice cutback play as Zepp brings it all the way down to the 12. So the backup offensive line and their backs getting it going here behind Hunter
Nice
Richardson.
run by George, yep. There's some different numbers on the
See Hunter Richardson there, Trevor Gregg now on that line. Try to get some of the other guys here in just a moment. Shirky obviously stays in as the sophomore. Michael Reed now in the game for the Saints.
Hagen Delmogowski's split to the top of your screen.
Up in the backfield. Here's the clock control. Going to get a signal from coach as to when you can snap it, although we do have those play clocks. Shirky kind of backed up on it, falls over at the 15. Going to take a small loss. I think I see 50 or maybe 62. That's Thor, Willie Schroeder. Jacob Smith in the game as well on the offensive line. Logan Ellis cuts up front, gets a couple. It's about to the 10, which is the original line of scrimmage. We got a flag here. Didn't see it, have a windowsill in my way. We'll get the call here from Phil Jensen. It's on the Shamrocks, and it's an automatic first down type penalty. That is massive.
I'd not be surprised if you weren't looking at an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
After the play, personal foul, defense, half the distance to the goal, 3rd down.
Same idea.
You know, I have to say I don't see it very often, but I didn't realize that a personal foul, dead ball penalty was not an automatic first down penalty.
Yeah.
So it's going to be 3rd down because that's what the down box says, and it's going to be 2 to go.
And we're down to 6 seconds. They're going to have to get the play off here.
And they do.
There.
Going to dive the ball interior. Did he get enough? They're kind of still fighting for yards in there. The linesman's feet would indicate that forward progress is going to give the Saints a first down. So a nice job there by the ball carrier, Connor Shirkey, who's done a good job of that all night. Really, he's just kind of coming into his own. He's sophomore running back, and he's more than adequate. You know, he's doing a nice job, and he's not a terribly big guy, but it's evident that he's got strong legs and he's got good balance because he's able to move piles. And right there, he was stuck at the mark and got it by a couple of yards. So really nice job by Shirkey. Hope maybe they'll reward him with 6 here. Saints knocking on the door with 3:58 to play, and Shirkey the deep back. Logan Ellis under center, 2nd string quarterback. LeDuc at the top.
Oop.
They're trying to go with a hard count. Center Willie Schroeder did not snap it. I didn't see any movement.
Yeah, he moved the ball.
False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty.
Other than that, he was fine.
All right, well, they wanted to get the false start, gives them a little room to breathe. It was too tight in there. They didn't want to bring Andrew Schweihofer in as he's a first-string defensive player. They're going to let this offensive line take them home. They're doing a nice job as well.
They are.
There you can see the faithful and reliable chain gang in the back there that we mentioned earlier, taking it all in. Saints get set. Ellis tripped a little bit, stays on his feet, gets inside the 5, and another flag. So we're kind of back to where we were earlier with the laundry. That's got to be a hold. It's going to move the Saints back again.
During the play, face mask on the defense.
Interesting.
Half
I
the
didn't see
distance to
that
the
from
goal.
here, so I'm assuming a
Replay
hold.
first
I'm
down.
sorry, offensive line. That's on the Shamrocks, and it's going to give the Saints another crack at first down. This time, looks like they're at about the 4-yard line. So first down for the Saints. They're going to jump this time. We got flags everywhere.
Offense. 5-yard penalty. Replay first down.
Still first down. We've gone from first down at about 6 different yard lines here in about 18 seconds. Clock continues to run. Thank goodness. 2:56 on that. Saints have kind of been stuck between the 10 and the 4 for the better part of a minute, exchanging penalties with the Shamrocks. Ellis goes left side, pitches back for a pretty good sized loss there. Goes out to Shirkey. At this point, the clock running is just as important as making progress towards pay dirt.
Maybe more so.
Looks like number 70, Carter Steyer, into the game. I believe I saw him out there playing with the band at halftime. Always,
Yes, you did.
always like. There's something I admire about kids who are able to do that. You know, you go into halftime, take off your pads, come out, show people that you can play an instrument. Same thing, I think we had a cheerleader as the drum major, so
We did.
I'm not sure if that would be guessing. Maybe it was Emma Wilson. But I could be biased because she's my neighbor. Couldn't tell from up here. We have a timeout on the field. I think the Saints want to talk it over. Shout out to that band that you see on the screen. I just mentioned it, and they're still here, and they're still enthusiastic, and the Saints faithful staying on board for this one. It's been a long game, and really probably like a tougher watch with all the penalties.
If you were looking for a smooth football game, this was not the place to see it tonight.
I would venture to guess that in most of the stadiums across the state of Michigan, football has concluded.
Yes.
But here we are in the waning moments of this one with 1:41 to play in the fourth. Saints 2nd and 13 from the 13, so goal to go. Traditional I formation, Sept in front of Shirky. They're going to give to him. It's going to be stacked up there by the Shamrocks. They were led that time by Nigel Brown. Nigel Brown, he's been hobbled here and there. Seems to find his way up.
You want to get 40 and 40.
Saints look like this is tight victory formation, 3rd down. I'm under the impression that they've done the math and they're going to be able to survive this without snap or without 2 plays.
Now it all depends on the official. There you go.
Yeah, I think
That's
the
it.
official knows better.
Yep.
And the play clock's 40 seconds, and I think Mr. Ellis took a knee at 42 seconds, but just slow enough on the draw was Mr.
That's
Terry Harrington, bless his heart. He starts that as the Saints are going to go on to win this one in disorderly fashion. But nonetheless, if you're a Saint, if you're Coach Bishop, you take them any way you can get them.
That's right. This is a league win.
It's a league win, and it brings you to 1-1. And you got to remember that East Detroit was able to get a big victory last week, so it puts things back in perspective for you in league play. And the Saints coming off that tough loss, right the ship once again with that urgency here at home, and they're going to have to take their show on the road for another tough test in Grosse Pointe North before we get back here for homecoming Cuzno. So, Coach, any final thoughts on this one?
Yeah, this is a yellow flag game. This is the momentum that you tried to build was just, it was such a staggering game with lack of momentum and frustration because of all the penalties and when they happened and how they happened. There's a lot to get out of this. There was a lot, like we talked about, that is really good. There's some adjustments to be made, but basically it was the score does not indicate the game.
No, I think it was, pretty ugly game, obviously, but you're not going to apologize for winning football games.
Absolutely.
And really, it was a lot uglier, to be fair, on the part of the Shamrocks than it was the Saints. The Saints pulled it together. Now, they're going to have a lot of kickoff team work to do, but other than that, procedurally, it was okay from the Saints' perspective. So, great job, Coach Bishop and the Saints, on your win. Special thanks to Paul Dingman, Bruce Holliday, and the entire Channel 6 crew for bringing this to us tonight, alongside Coach Denny White, I'm Brad Robbins. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time here on CTV.
East China High School sports have been brought to you by Ascension River District Hospital, along with support from North Star Bank, Ace Hardware in La Mache, the Murphy Inn, and CTV.